Hey there, Singaporean investors. Welcome to the Investing Iguanas Daily SGX Market Digest for 25 September 2025, cutting through the noise with the updates that matter and the context to use them today. The Investing Iguana was ranked 8th in the 2024 Influential Tigers by Tiger Brokers with over 1 million reads, 58,000 likes, more than 1,000 videos, and 600,000 watch hours as of August 2025, with a regional macro lens to frame local moves. The Straits Times Index hovered near recent highs and was around 4,290 to 4,300 into midweek, with modest moves as traders weighed global growth headlines and local corporate news, following a recent all-time high near 4,375 earlier in September. SGX notes the STI tracks the top 30 by market cap and offers broad exposure to Singapore's economy and overseas revenue, with banks dominating index weightings and a dividend tilt that's been appealing in 25. OCBC named Karina Lee as Group Chief Risk Officer effective the 1st of January 2026, succeeding Noel Gerald D. Cruz, who will retire in 2025. Lee joined in 2021 and previously held senior risk roles at Standard Chartered and will join the bank's management committee. The stock last closed at $16.36 before the announcement, drifting modestly, as governance continuity and a seasoned risk hand typically signal steady risk appetite management through the cycle. With banks still a heavy STI weight and earnings sensitive to credit quality and margin trends, a credible chief risk officer transition supports resilience as funding costs normalize and credit cycles evolve. Optus, Singtel's Australian unit, was fined 100 million Australian dollars by Australia's federal court for unconscionable sales practices targeting disadvantaged consumers between 2019 and 2023, following an ACCC case. The ruling labeled conduct extremely serious and appalling. The penalty follows broader operational scrutiny in Australia after a prolonged outage that affected emergency calls, reinforcing execution and compliance as key investor watch points for the Singtel Group. Shares were marginally lower into the close as investors assess financial impact versus reputational repair and medium-term cash flow from Australia, a core but often volatile contributor. F&N appointed Rahul Kolako as CEO effective the 1st of October 2025, succeeding Hui Chun Kit, who retires and stays through January 2026 to ensure a smooth transition, with Kolako bringing 28 years across Thai Bev, Grand Royal Myanmar, Friesland Campina, and Unilever. The stock ticked up to $1.49 before the update, with governance continuity and a growth operator background, aligning to brand building and margin execution in beverages and consumer goods. Leadership shifts often precede portfolio sharpening and regional mix moves. Investors will watch early strategy signals and fiscal year 2026 execution cadence. Carrot's IPO drew overwhelming demand. 262.2 million units on offer were 16.6 times subscribed overall, with the Singapore public offer 30.9 times subscribed and placement about 16 times. Trading commences today on SGX. The strong reception reflects investor appetite for purpose-built accommodation exposure, workers and students with defensive characteristics and yield focus in a low inflation backdrop. Balloting details show a wide unit holder spread by design, which can support liquidity post-listing as the REIT builds its track record. Prime US REIT launched a private placement to raise about $25 million at an issue price between 19.35 and 20 US cents per new unit, with DBS and Maybank underwriting placement outcomes. Proceeds are for capital expenditure and tenanting initiatives. Units were up 2.3% to 22 US cents before a trading halt, as equity raises at tight ranges signal balance sheet prudence amid US office leasing challenges and the need to fund retention and releasing. Investors will watch utilization of proceeds, leasing wins, and distribution stabilization as cyclical office headwinds persist. Today's theme: governance and funding discipline, front and center. From OCBC's Chief Risk Officer, handover to Optus's penalty under Singtel, plus REITs tapping markets on strong demand or for capital expenditure flexibility. The key takeaway is the rising premium on execution quality. risk management in banks, compliance in telecoms, and capital allocation in REITs, especially as global rates plateau and credit and leasing cycles normalize into 2026. Keeping an eye on index structure helps. Banks still anchor the STI, while selective mid-cap opportunities, like accommodation-focused REITs, offer differentiated income streams within a diversified allocation. That's the scoop for the SGX today, 25 September 2025, with the most investable updates distilled into clear actions and context to apply now. For real-time analysis and early alerts up to a week ahead, the premium membership is just $3 a month. Think of it as daily foresight from the Iguana's desk to the portfolio. Delivered on time, every time. Like, share, and drop thoughts on today's moves. Every comment gets read, and the best questions shape tomorrow's digest.